Hey guys, I before we get into the vlog, I just finished reading City of Bones, but I forgot to film a little intro to the intro. So before we get into the vlog of my experience reading City of Bones, just to let you know, this is very, very spoiler filled. I decided to do it spoiler filled because there's no point in a reading vlog like this if there's not spoilers. So this is a spoiler filled vlog. I will be filming a video that is going to be spoiler free, kind of like a review, talking about my experience reading the book and my thoughts on it without any spoilers. So if you do not want any spoilers for City of Bones, click off now, and I will be posting a video in the next day or so with a spoiler-free review and talking about my experience. So there's your warning. This is very spoiler-filled, and now on to Past Me. Hey guys, welcome to another reading vlog. This one is specific, and if you've watched my introduction to it video, which should be up way before this ever goes up because I'm going to film these one at a time, this is going to be a reading vlog featuring one of the Booktube darlings that I talked about in my video. So my plan is for each book that I read over the course of the time reading them, I will do a reading vlog all about them as I'm reading them. So you'll get like my real-time reactions and stuff like that. I probably won't put anything up so you can see me actually reading, maybe, because I read mostly on my bed and I literally have to stack a whole bunch of books or something next to me and set my phone on it to record. Maybe I'll give it a shot, like we'll see. But as of right now, it'll just be like me turning the camera on when I have something to talk about or reaction. So the first book I'm going to be tackling in this little project of mine is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. Now, this one has so much hype on Booktube. It is definitely a Booktube darling. Not necessarily this book, but the series as a whole. The Shadowhunter series as a whole is definitely a Booktube darling. If you follow Emma Books, this is like her favorite series of all time. The girl never stops talking about it. She has many featured videos about it on her channel. Also, Mel at Mel to the Emmy just read the entire series recently and loved it. And if I remember right, let's see if I can get this. This is book one in the Mortal Instruments, and that's where generally people say you need to start. There are 6 books in the Mortal Instruments. There's 3 in the first trilogy, and then there's 3 in the second trilogy. And then there's the Infernal Devices, and what's the other one saying back? The Infernal Devices and the Dark Artifices. Okay. And like there's literally 4 or 5 different ways you can read these, like the order. I watched Emma's video and she suggests publication order. I'm going to do it in the way, which I don't even, this might actually be publication order, is the first trilogy that starts with City of Bones. And then it goes, it's City of Bones, then Infernal Devices, or the Mortal Instruments first round trilogy, then the Infernal Devices in the second round of the Mortal Instruments, and the Dark Artifices, and then forward. I don't even know if I'm going to get that far. I just want to read the first book. Now, I have some trepidation when it comes to this book. First off, it was written in 2007. So I already know it's going to be full of fucking tropes. I'm sure there's probably a love triangle. There's probably insta-love. All the stuff that I don't usually like. But since it was written in 2007 and it is young adult, I will give it a pass. Because it's not like it just came out this year and all this shit's still going on. From what I understand, her books get better with time if you get into the story. And what prompted me to like kind of do this was like rereading the Sookie Stackhouse series. Like if I would have read the Mortal Instruments or Cassandra Clare when I was a teenager, I probably would have read every fucking book and still would be reading them because it's the kind of stuff that I used to love to read. And I do love Sookie Stackhouse, and it is just like trash fluff, like palate cleansing books. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like everybody has like guilty pleasures, which I don't really like that because nobody should feel guilty for loving what they love or liking what they like, right? So I want to give it a shot. And if I like it enough, like if I rate it 3 stars or higher, I'm probably going to continue and see how it goes. Now, my entire library has the entire series, has all of Cassandra Clare's books or Cassandra Clare's books. I decided to buy the first one because I didn't want to wait to go to the library, and I didn't want to wait for it to come in. It's checked out at the moment, and all the online ones are checked out at the moment. This was like $10 on Amazon, so I was like, fuck it. I know that's kind of wasteful, but whatever. If I enjoy it, and it's hardcover, so if I enjoy it and I decide I want to buy them, then it wouldn't be wasteful because then I'd be collecting a series. So whatever. But I'm kind of curious to see if I enjoy it. I don't know. Like, it's something's just been niggling in the back of my mind, especially with this one. So this is the one I'm going to read first, and I'm going to vlog my experience. So as I read it, if I come across anything like tropey, like silly, obnoxious, whatever, I'll just pop on and tell you guys about it, I guess. And we'll see how this goes. Like, reading vlogs, like when you're reading a specific book for the entire vlog is kind of odd to me, because unless like it's very spoiler filled, there's not much content, I guess, like that you can really put into it. But we'll see how this goes. I may end up scrapping this whole entire thing. We'll see. But I'm going to get started on it since it just arrived. Hey guys, it's me. It's a couple of days later. Excuse me. So after I did the intro, I didn't actually read. Don't know why, but now I'm about 100 pages in. Let me see. I'm about 100 pages into City of Bones, and I'm loving it. Like, who am I? Like, I never thought I'd ever read the Shadowhunters books. Like, they seemed so overhyped. They seemed like the way people talked about him, I was just like, But after like watching a few more videos, like Chloe and Mel and Emma and all of them talking about it enough, and then rereading Sookie and being like, okay, you know what? I might actually like them. And I didn't really know much of what it was about because they don't really explain it. It's just like you're just supposed to know. And I knew that like the first trilogy was not supposed to be the best, but I was like, all right. And I gave it a shot, and I'm 100 pages in, and I fucking love it. I'm hooked. That's for sure. Like, it's just getting started, but I'm hooked. And from what I understand, what are you doing? Brushing my hair. Why were you going? Since when do you care about looking presentable? Anyways, kid interruption. So I've heard that the two main characters, and I guess this is going to be a spoilery reading vlog because there would be no content if I didn't talk about what I was actually reading. So from what I heard, like, Jace and Clary are like the two worst like coupling characters in the whole Shadowhunters universe. You don't hear about them much. Like when people talk about the Shadowhunters, you very rarely hear them talk about Jace and Clary, even though they're like the OG and they like started the series. Not many people talk about them, and I think it's probably because that was written in 2007, so it was very tropey and stuff. But honestly, I haven't seen that many tropes yet. I'm 100 pages in. Like, there isn't any insta love so far between Jace and Clary. Like, I know they end up together, and I believe there's a love triangle between them and Clary's best friend Simon. But it's just like she's attracted to him, but it's kind of like the jerky bad boy and like the girl who doesn't know what's going on. You know, she's kind of the clueless girl. I'm fine with that. That's okay. Like, obviously, they end up together in the end. From what I understand, Cassandra Clare also really likes her hinted at incest stories where it's not necessarily incest, but damn near, or hinted at through the whole thing. So we'll see. I don't know. It's just, it really sucked me in. Like, I'm really interested. Like, I want to keep reading. When I got off work this morning, I wanted to come home and read. So I did, because I'd gotten to like 50 pages in. Now I'm 100 pages in, which it doesn't look like anything at all. But now I'm 100 pages in, and I want to keep reading. But I'm catching up on Booktube, and my husband was here, and then I had to eat and like all this stuff. But like, I'm going to spend, I think, most of the day reading this. But anyways, yeah, that's my little update. I'm actually fucking loving this book, and I'm really, I like it so much. 100 pages in, already have the next 2 books like to finish the trilogy out sitting in my cart on Amazon. I mean, that's some serious shit. Granted, I have no fucking room on my shelves to put any of these books, but like, this has really surprised me. But anyways, I'll check in with you again when I have another update. Okay, so I'm on page like 118. And clearly already I can tell there's going to be a love triangle, which I'm not usually a fan of, but it is what it is. I mean, this was written in 2007. Love triangles were the rage back then. I mean, and it's not super cringy, but kind of like the Clary, Jace, Simon, like, obviously she's gonna pick Jace. He's a Shadowhunter. It's obvious she's gonna be a Shadowhunter. Excuse me. Simon's just a normal kid. It's obvious she's not gonna pick him. And it'll probably end up being one of those things where it's like, I'm sorry, I do love you, but I can't pick you in the long run because what I have to do is so dangerous and you don't understand and you know, it'll put you in danger. It's the Buffy trope. Like, you know, Buffy was only with people who were similar to her, like the vampires and stuff like that. She could never be with a regular guy like Riley in season 4 because he's just a normal guy and he couldn't keep up with her and he's not going to understand and blah, 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 blah. But somebody said that, like, she does pick Simon at one point, but she ends up with Jace. Like, I've heard people talk about it enough to know she ends up with Jace, which is fine. Like, I would expect that because he's, like, the hot blonde who's all mysterious and, like, standoffish and obviously has some kind of a past, which, fine, whatever. Like, it doesn't bother me. I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm still turning the pages. I'm curious. I want to know what's happening. I'm totally invested in the story. But I just had to point that out, that the love triangle it's just silly, let's be honest. Hey guys, quick little update. I'm literally sitting in my car. I just got off work because I forgot to update you after I read last night because I was too tired and the lighting is shit in my room with just the overhead light after the sun goes down. But last night I got to page like 150 or so of City of Bones. I'm still really enjoying it. We just had a little reveal. I'm about ready to start part 2. And the reveal is, you know, of course, like, duh, like, I figured it out. I'm not dumb or, you know, 5. That Clary is a Shadowhunter by blood. She's just never been trained in that. Her mom was a Shadowhunter. And, ooh, shocker, her mom was married to Valentine or Valentine. I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. It's spelled like Valentine. And, like, there's a reference in one of the lines where it says Valentine, like, in reference to, like, a Valentine for, like, Valentine's Day. So I assume it's pronounced Valentine. Correct me if I'm wrong because, you know, newbie here. But, ooh, her mom, I didn't think her mom was married to Valentine, but I had a feeling that Valentine was Clary's dad, was my thought. And that her mom has just lied to her about that because he's, like, the big bad. And he's the Shadowhunter that, you know, disappeared and whatever. And turned against his kind and blah, blah, blah. So I guess now we're probably just getting into the good stuff. So I assume the rest of the book is going to be looking for Clary's mom, Jocelyn, and her getting in a love triangle with Simon and Jace and trying to figure out which one she loves or loves. That's one thing that's very common in love triangles. Usually you see it a lot actually in YA, and it totally doesn't surprise me because this was written in 2007, where you have whether it be a boy or a girl who's the main character, there's always somebody of the opposite sex who's like their best friend, has been best friends for years, and the best friend loves the main character and has for years, but it's unrequited, and the best friend had no idea that they were in love with them. How did I not know? Where it's like, dude, come on, like, everything he does, you know, or she does, tells you that. And then they always meet the other person, the other main character, and fall in love with them instead, and it always ends up being a love triangle. It doesn't really bother me that much. Ooh, sun high. That doesn't really bother me all too much because I know what it is and I see it coming, and it's very common and it's very tropey. It doesn't bother me that much. It's fine. Like, you know, I know enough about the Shadowhunters to know that Clary and Jace end up together, obviously. So I'm, you know, it's not that big a deal to me, but still plugging along, still really enjoying it, still wanting to pick it up. Leaving work now, I have to go to physical therapy, and then I will go home. I have to shower, get the kids all situated, and then I think I'm going to try to spend most of the day reading is the plan. I want to try to get pretty far. I want to try to bust through these as quick as I can, but still read other stuff in between, so it's not just this for the next month. Like, because I'm currently reading The Ruins with Vicky, and I've got other stuff I want to read. This month I don't want to jinx myself, knock on wood, but this month so far has been going really well. I've already finished 4 books, and it's only August 13th, so that's really good for me. So, plugging right along, but when I actually sit down to read and I've got, you know, something happens or whatever, I will get back to you guys, so I'll see you in the next clip. One more thing I forgot to mention before I go into physical therapy. When I was reading last night, I came across the line that's an all YA. Clary released a breath she didn't realize she was holding. I was like, really? Oh my God. Instance 1 where you're like, ooh, this is glaringly old and glaringly like YA trope. But still, I had to mention it because it's funny. It's a running joke on Booktube now. But anyways, yeah, I gotta go to physical therapy. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, excuse me. I haven't read like any of City of Bones in a couple of days, and I don't even necessarily have to film this update because it's supposed to be just reading the book. It's not an actual reading vlog for days, but yeah, I'm about ready to start reading some now. I'm on page 156, so like a couple pages since I last updated. Last couple of days have been kind of crazy. I was going to read, yesterday was my plan, but on Tuesday afternoon, one of my best friends texted me and said, hey, you want to go see the Rolling Stones tomorrow? Can't say no to going to see the Rolling Stones. So I went down to Seattle, saw the Rolling Stones last night, spent the night in Seattle, came home this morning, been chilling. I read my part of The Ruins that I need to read from Embodied with Vicky, and now I'm going to get back into the City of Bones. So I'm going to try to get a huge chunk of it out of it today, and I will definitely be reading tomorrow because I'm off tomorrow. But yeah, this isn't a weekly reading vlog, dummy. You don't need to explain all this. But anyways, I'm going to read as much as I can. When I get to a part that's important or I feel like I need to discuss, I will check back in. Hey, hi, hello. A few things. So I haven't read anything today. I'm getting ready to read right now, but I did read quite a bit last night. I'm on page 215. I just did an update because it was like 11:30 at night and people were sleeping and I just wasn't going to bother and there was no lights. But yeah, so a couple of things. We're getting ready to meet Magnus Bane, which I've heard a lot of things about him. People talk about him all the time. He has his own book of short stories or whatever. I know a lot of people like him. I hear he's one of like the favorite characters in the whole series, I guess. But yeah, we're getting ready to meet him. Jace and Clary. It's not... It's kind of tropey, but it's not terrible. Like, Jace is the typical, not bad boy, but like where he's like pompous and like, well, if you just wanted for me to take my clothes off, you should have asked. Like, that kind of guy. I mean, it's fine. It doesn't bother me, but it's just kind of like, okay, like eye roll inducing. But Clary's kind of fucking stupid. She's kind of dumb. Like, Jace has made multiple comments about Simon liking her and having a crush on her, and she's just like, hey, what? Dude, bitch, you're dumb. Like, he said it before, like, at the very beginning of the book when she ran out of the coffee shop and went to go chase Jace or whatever, and he said nothing amuses him more than a declaration of love that especially if it's unrequited. And he was talking directly about Simon, and she knew that, and it like went over her head, or she just didn't get it. Which, do you not know the meaning of the word unrequited or what declaration of love means? Like, it's like, how could you not get it? So I somehow down in this book, if like Simon declares his love for her or whatever, and she acts totally dumb, like she didn't know or didn't see it, she's fucking stupid. I don't believe her. Also, I have a feeling that Valentine is Clary's father. I think that's kind of been alluded to and kind of obvious. I don't know if I've already said that, but like after reading this chunk, and I mean, I'm 200 pages in and nothing has really happened. There's been a lot of info dumping, but it's info dumped in a way that's not oppressive, where it's like, here, let me just tell you this whole backstory. Like, it's told within the story of what they're doing. Like, small stuff is happening, and then the world and what's happening in the past is being explained as they're doing through these things, or going through these things and doing these things, and stuff's being introduced and you're getting the info about it. So I kind of appreciate that it's, the info dump is happening around something that is important to the story. So that's not too bad, but you kind of need it, because she's literally being dropped in this world and you're being dropped with her, so you kind of need to know what's going on. I love the idea of the brothers. We met Brother Jeremiah and their like little group in the Silent City. I like the idea of that their lips are stitched together and that they have no eyes. Like, I think that's pretty cool, and that they talk telepathically. I like that idea. It reminds me a lot of the book Hex, kind of. Oh, my arm's getting tired holding up my phone. But yeah, there's like a lot of things that I like. Like, considering this was written in 2007, it's not that bad. Like, if I read this back then, I would have fucking loved this. And I already am enjoying it. I have a feeling I'm going to end up wanting to read the entire series, which is not something that I would have ever guessed. I figured I'd hate it and I'd hate reading it, but I'm actually quite enjoying it. I don't know if I'll go so far as to say that I'll end up being Cassandra Clare trash or Shadowhunter trash, but it, it's very enjoyable. I can see why it is so popular, and there's elements in this that remind me a lot of Buffy. There's elements that remind me a lot of Supernatural, the show Supernatural, which I love. I like that religion has kind of been tied into it a little bit. I'm curious to see how things go, because I've heard Cassandra Clare sucks at writing villains, and that her villains are really kind of boring and lackluster, and that most of the story seems to center around like the Shadowhunters and everybody being paired up in their relationships and stuff. So I'm curious to see how that develops and if I feel the same. I usually do like a good villain, but if the whole point of your story is just to talk about these people's adventures and the villains don't really matter, it just matters them all kind of being together in a group, then I guess your villains don't have to be that great. Oh my god, what is going on? Sorry. Hi. Yeah, hello. That looks terrible. But so I don't really care, I guess. I don't really care if the villains are shit, I guess, is the best way to put it. I look way better with my hair up. Why do I even bother having it down? I mean, yes, it was drying, but I'm using you as a mirror, and I'm not pleased. Ooh, but, oh, wait, no, okay, I'm forward. Look at my shirt. My shirt's fucking awesome. I got a new Buffy shirt. This is all Joelle's fault. Buffy will patrol tonight for my favorite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer ever. If you can tell what episode that's from, you get major bonus points. But that's all Joelle's fault. All her fault. Hi, Joelle. It's all your fault. Yeah, I'm going to get back into reading. I'm on chapter 12, page 215, Dead Man's Party. So we're getting ready to go to a party to meet Magnus Spain, who apparently is the one that put the block in Clary's head so she can't remember anything. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. So far, I'm liking it. I'm liking the banter between Jace and Clary. I didn't really like Alex reveal as being gay. I love that he is gay, but it was never... The only inkling I saw that to where the reader might think that he is gay is when they're at the diner and they're eating, and Alec, the way he's talking to Jace and the way Clary describes the look on his face as he's talking to Jace would, you know, like, oh, maybe he likes him, maybe he's bi or gay, like the way he's kind of looking at him. But other than that, there is no inclination at all. I just said inclination twice. There's no other showing that he's gay, so I'm curious as to how Clary jumped to the conclusion that Alec was gay. Like, I don't understand that. And she asked Isabel, and Isabel said, yes, he is, but don't tell anybody. So it's very 2007 with the tropes of, like, you can't be out. Like, you know, it's frowned upon and stuff like that. I like that she put somebody immediately, especially in 2007, put somebody gay on the page, and being a gay man at that on the page. I do like that, and I appreciate that, but I just want to know, how the fuck did Clary know that he was gay? He showed no signs, like, I guess typical signs of being gay. There was no, like, she saw him flirting with another guy, or saw him kissing somebody, or something where you go, oh, he's gay? Oh, I didn't know that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, what? She's so stupid that she can't figure out that Simon's been in love with her for years, but she can spend like a couple hours with Alec and know that he's gay. I don't know about that. But other than that, I am really enjoying it. It's a really fast read. I didn't realize how big the font was, but yeah, I'm going to keep reading, and we'll see how I fare. If I come across anything else, I'll make sure to tell you. Oh, speaking of Alec and Magnus, I do know from watching enough people talk about the Shadowhunters on Booktube that I know Alec and Magnus become a couple. So, you know, that, sorry, spoilers for other books. Like, I don't know when they get together. Maybe this one. But I do know that they get together eventually. So, all right, fine, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to get back into it. Hopefully, I'll have more to say. Hopefully I can get through a good chunk of this, because I need to. I've wasted enough time today. Okay, so we've met Magnus. I like Magnus. I like that he's kind of an ass and he doesn't put up with Jace's bullshit. Kind of like him so far. Simon turning into a rat. Is it mean of me to say that I wish he would just go away? Like, he would just die? He's not one of my favorites. He's kind of like one of those characters that was semi-important in the beginning and now he's just in the way. Kind of wish they wouldn't go after him, but of course they're gonna go after him and whatever. I mean, it's like a side plot where we gotta go save Simon instead of doing what you need to do to further the plot. Try to find Jocelyn and figure out what's going on with Valentine and all that shit. No, now we gotta go save Simon, which is probably gonna take like another 50 pages. Hey guys, I am now on page 308, so I am way more than halfway through. Let's see, how many pages are in this is almost 500. Yeah, just under 500, so I'm definitely more than halfway through. So they went and saved Simon from the vampires, and then werewolves showed up and they wanted Clary. Apparently everybody wants Clary. I don't know, it's kind of anticlimactic. Like, it was a lot of pages to cover getting in and getting Simon from the vampires. So it was okay. Like, it was just like, okay. But most of this book so far has been like, okay, we were introduced to, like, Jocelyn's missing, Clary's mom's missing, and Valentine, who's this big bad ex-Shadowhunter, is the bad guy, and he's obviously alive and he's trying to do things. And Clary's got a block in her mind, so she can't remember anything. So the whole point is, like, they need to try to find Jocelyn. But they've spent most of their time just piddle farting around New York, not really doing anything. They're just hanging out. They met Magnus. Okay, cool. He's a character that's throughout the series. But then the rest has just been, like, piddle farting around. Like, why is Simon still there? Why isn't... He's a mundane. He's a human. Why is he still hanging out? It's just kind of like, you know, let's get a move on kind of thing. Like, I want the story, the actual plot story that we're supposed to be doing to progress, and it's not progressing. It's just, we're just kind of hanging out, you know, watching Jason and Clary flirt back and forth, but nothing really happening. It's like, okay, I've read 300 pages and we're no further now than we were on page, like, 20. It's like, let's get a move on. But other than that, like, I still am enjoying it. I like the world that she's setting up. I like how everything's been kind of explained, like how she's explaining things. I, of course, want to know more, and I'm sure there's like 15 million books, so you'll definitely get more of that, and like history and all that kind of stuff. I know the TID, the Infernal Devices, I think. Yeah, that's the one that takes place in the past. It's like a prequel to the Mortal Instruments, and that comes after this trilogy. But I want to do this trilogy first before I read those. But so far, liking it. They rescued Simon at sunrise. He turned back into a human. Of course, he's still in love with Clary and hasn't said it yet, and she's too dumb to figure it out. But Alec and Clary's little fight, I kind of like that, where he came at her, and it was so obvious that it was because he loves Jace, and that he was so mad that they went and did something, and, you know, oh, you're putting him in danger. And I like that Clary stood up for herself, and I like that she pretty much called him out and said, I can't make him do anything. He did it all on his own, and you're only pissed because you're in love with him. Like, I'm glad she finally called him out on that. But other than that, I'm still enjoying it. I'm going to take a little break from reading right now. Like, don't have much left. I'm on page 308, I think I said. Chapter 17, yeah, 308. So I'm going to take a little break, play some song pop, maybe get something to eat or whatever, and hopefully pick this back up. If for some reason I don't, which I should, it's only 5 o'clock. If for some reason I don't pick this back up, then I will talk to you guys the next time I read. Because tomorrow I know I'm not going to be able to read it all, maybe a little. But we have a barbecue tomorrow for my nephew's birthday, so I'm not sure. But yeah, either I'll let you know when I've read more, or tomorrow, whatever. But yeah, still enjoying it, and only got just under 200, about 185 pages left until I finish it. But yeah, still really enjoying it. I'm really surprised that I'm actually liking it this much. But Buffy and Supernatural are two of my favorite shows, so I really should not be surprised that I'm enjoying this. You burped? Good job, son.
You burped pizza. You burped pizza.
You burped pizza?
You burped pizza.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You burped pizza.
My son, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, yeah, I will talk to you guys in the next clip once I've read some more. Okay, we've gotten to the point where Simon has confessed to Clary that he's been in love with her for 10 years, and it's like, duh. And of course, she's did exactly what I said she was going to do. She was totally stupid. It was like, what? I thought you were waiting for Isabel, and that, like, it's like, come on, girl. Like, how could you not know he's been fawning over her since, like, page 1? But whatever. I think it's hilarious. Like, the whole fight is hilarious. I don't know why Jace was so nasty to her when he walked away. I don't know if it's because he's jealous of Simon, and which is dumb because she's obviously shown no signs of liking Simon, but I just found it hilarious. Like, what? What did she say? Why are you trying to make me jealous? Why would you do that? Oh my God, girl, get a grip. But I just thought it was amusing, so I had to mention that. I'm finally to the point, even though we're, you know, about 150 pages from the end, and he's finally decided to tell her that he's in love with her, and of course she doesn't love him. But this is probably going to make her do the whole guilt thing, where she's going to feel guilty for not liking him back, so she's going to pull away from Jace because she feels guilty for not liking Simon back, and is probably going to try to force herself to like him like that, even though she doesn't, which will just prolong her and Jace actually being together until later. Just a theory, may not happen that way, but that's like the trope, so we'll see. But I know there's supposed to be something in here, because I've heard spoilers now and again, because you can't watch Booktube without hearing about Shadowhunters, but I'm pretty sure that there's something in here where Jace and Clary are led to believe that they're brother and sister, but they're actually not, and that's like the play on incest that Cassandra Clare likes to do. So if that's the case, then that'll probably stop them, and they'll just have the tension until they figure out that they're not actually brother and sister. But whatever, I'm still enjoying this. Like, speaking of enjoying this, so my wedding anniversary was yesterday, and my husband got me another Barnes & Noble gift card because he can't help himself. So what did I do with that $100 gift card? I may or may not have bought the next 5 books in the Shadowhunter series. Yeah. I sure did, in hardcover. So I got, what is it, City of Ashes and City of Glass. So the next 2 in this trilogy, and then I got all of the Infernal Devices. So I have the next 5 books to read, and then after that, then I'll read the other 3 of the Mortal Instruments, the second trilogy, and then the Dark Artifices. But I don't think I'll actually be able to catch up until up before like the next one comes out, because I still want to read other stuff in between. It's not going to turn into just reading this all the time. Like, once I'm done with this one, and I've already figured out which one I want book for my actual TBR I want to read next and stuff like that. So yeah, anyways, that's my little what am I saying? My little insert update, I guess, because I read that and was just like, oh god. The tropes, here we go. The official love triangle. But yeah, I'll speak at you soon. Okay, we're finally getting to all the good stuff. Valentine just showed up, made an appearance. Hodge betrayed Jace and the rest of them, even though Alec and Isabel weren't there. Clary was there, but he betrayed them. I don't even know if I've mentioned Hodge. Like, I've been really bad with this vlog, like just saying my reactions, assuming you guys have read the book, because most people have read the book, but I'm not a huge YA reader, and I don't think a lot of my audience is either. So Hodge is the person who runs the institute where the Shadowhunters, like Jace, Isabel, and Alec, who are the 3 main Shadowhunters at this institute, where they live, and he's the adult that kind of oversees them. And apparently he was working with Valentine, and Valentine shows up, and they went and retrieved what is called the Mortal Cup, which is, I guess, this cup that was made by this angel, and it helps, like, if you use it, you can create more Shadowhunters. And Valentine wanted it so he could create an army, and he came and got it, and Clary was stuck behind a wall, and he took Jace with him, because Jace was unconscious, so when he makes the appearance, he's gonna kill him. Like, we all know he's not gonna fucking kill Jace. Like, he's not gonna die, I doubt, because they're, you know, this is book 1, Jace and Clary are the, you know, the OG couple from this series, so we'll see, but he's gone now, so now we're getting into the good shit. I'm on page 372, so I have about just over 100 pages left, so I'm gonna try to barrel through this. It's like only 4 o'clock. I can easily finish this today, and I don't know, it's getting good. I'm really glad I ordered the other books. Okay, so I have about 50 pages left, and Clary and Luke have gone to rescue Jace from Valentine, and they've gotten to the place, which it's in an old asylum, which I think is just fucking perfect. I love old asylums anyways. Anything to do with an asylum, you got me. Like, granted, this has all been refurbished and shit like that, and the glamour on the outside makes it still look like a dilapidated asylum, but still, it's cool that it's in an asylum. But they get there, and Luke is a werewolf, FYI, which I didn't see that coming, but I thought he might have been a little bit more. But he told the whole story, the backstory of when he was with Jocelyn, and like, so Clary kind of got the backstory that her mother never gave her, which was kind of nice. But they go to rescue Jace, and Jace is standing there, and like, he's all happy to see Clary, but he says that she's stupid, and, you know, my father gave me these clothes. And Valentine walks in, and he goes, Clary, this is my father. Well, Luke just told Clary that Valentine is her father. I believe that Valentine is Clary's father. I don't believe he's Jace's father. I think that either Valentine believes that Jace is Jonathan, the son that died, or which wouldn't make sense because Valentine's the one that burned down the house with the kid in it and Jocelyn's parents. So it wouldn't make sense. But why would he say that he was his father? Like, it doesn't make sense. Unless he slept with every single woman that was in the circle in his, like, little cult. Either way, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I've got about 50 pages left. I hope they explain why he says that he is Jace's father, because I don't know. It just does. It seems kind of far-fetched. And I know it's Cassandra Clare playing on her incest stuff that she likes, or the hint of incest, even though it may not actually be incest. You know, obviously since Clary and Jace like each other and all that. But I'm really glad I went and bought the rest of the books, because if not all of this is resolved by the end of this book, which I'm sure it's not, because it's a trilogy, or I guess 2 trilogies, whatever, or 6 books, I guess, in the Mortal Instruments. Yeah, I'm gonna need to know what's happening. So I'm gonna read these last 50 pages. I made myself some coffee because I'm really tired. I didn't get much sleep last night and I worked today, and I was laying back in my bed and I was reading and I was literally starting to nod off. So I'm sitting up. I made myself some coffee even though it's fucking 5:30 in the evening, and I'm gonna drink my coffee. I'm gonna finish these 50 pages because I want to finish this book. I need to get this vlog edited and up for you guys. So yeah, I'm gonna finish it and I'll let you know what I think when I'm done. Okay guys, I finished it. I finished City of Bones. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. I liked the ending. The one thing I didn't like about the entire book was that it was almost 300 pages of doing a whole bunch of nothing and just kind of running around before we actually got to the nitty gritty and got to, like, going to find Jocelyn and figuring out, oh, Valentine's still alive and doing all that. That didn't happen until, like, the last 100 and no, about 200 pages. And so the first 300 was just a lot of running around, and I know a lot of it was to establish the world, and so you were finding out with Clary how the world works and getting a lot of backstory and all that, and I get that. And it actually read really fast, even though there wasn't much going on. And then on the flip side, I appreciate that it wasn't just a big info dump and then just straight into the action. I liked that as you're going with Clary, you're learning bit by bit along the way. Now, Valentine can fuck off. He's terrible. So the whole thing with Jace being Jonathan, like, I guess I could kind of see it. Like, Valentine pretended and stole Jonathan and all that. And apparently Jace knows of Jonathan. Like, he said that was my father and he's the one that raised me, because he died when he was 10. So he would know what he looked like. So it makes me wonder if the real Jonathan, but why would he kill him? So there's got to be something in there to where, because, you know, like Clary makes the comment, they don't look anything alike, where Clary looks very much like her mother. And she doesn't say anything about Jace looking like his dad. So I know these two are a couple and they end up together. So there's got to be something that happens in the books to discredit one of their parentage. So they can't, one of them is not like the other. So one of them isn't Valentine's. Like, I don't know. They got to be somehow not related. Because I do not want her with Simon. Like, I do not. And I know Cassandra Clare set that up so where not that you don't not like Simon, but that you don't want Clary with Simon. Like, I want Clary with Jace. Like, teenage me is like losing my shit. Like, this totally appealed to the teenage me. I'm such a huge Buffy fan. I love Supernatural. This played into all of that. It has the angst of the teenage angst that you find in a lot of YA books. It reminded me a lot of the teenage angst in Buffy, like in the first couple Buffy seasons, like Buffy and Angel pining for each other, like they shouldn't be together kind of thing. It had a lot of that, and I really enjoyed that. Like, I still love Buffy now, and so it still did appeal to me, even though there was some stuff that was really tropey, and I mean, it was written in 2007, but from everything I heard, her writing gets better, and her writing wasn't terrible, and it gets better, and the storylines get better as the series progresses, because there's 3, 6, 9, there's 12 books out, and book 13 is coming out at some point, so I have 11 books to go. Jesus Christ. But so I like what she set up. I like the world that she set up. I'm really excited to continue. This was totally a win in reading a Booktube darling. I really enjoyed it. I'm just surprised. I never read it before. I think because seeing so much of it on Booktube and listening to Emma talk about it, and then Melanie from Mel to the Any actually kind of helped push, because she read it all last year for the first time. And I like Melanie. Her and I like a lot of the same stuff. When it comes to fantasy anyway. She reads a lot of contemporary and I don't, but we both like fantasy. Something in my eye. And her fantasy taste and mine tend to be the same. So I really trust Melanie's opinion. And her reading it and loving the entire series, being totally sucked in and becoming Shadowhunter trash, I'm like, you know what? I kind of really want to give this a shot. And I loved it. It was good. Like, I'm so glad that I bought the next 5. So I'm reading it in the order which, okay, like Emma has a whole video on like different orders you can read these books in. I'm not necessarily interested in the short story collections like the Bane Chronicles and like or Tales of the Shadow Market and Shadowhunter Academy, I think they're called. There's 3 of them. I'm not a fan of short stories at all. And like, I know they add to the story and, you know, like there's Easter eggs and stuff, but you do not have to read those. But there's all these different orders to read them. And from what I've heard, the most popular way to read them is either in publication order, or I'm going to read them in this way. The first 3 in the Mortal Instruments, then I'm going to read the Infernal Devices, then I'm going to read the second 3 in the Mortal Instruments, and then read the Dark Artifices. So I'm going to do it in that way. Hopefully I don't lose interest. I have a hard time lately, like finishing series, but this really sucked me in. It reminded me a lot of reading like the Sookie Stackhouse series. Like, it just reminded me of all of like some of my favorite things. So I'm, surprisingly enough, like, I loved it, and now I think I'm well on my way to becoming Shadowhunter trash, and I don't know how I feel about it. But anyways, yeah, that's it. That was my experience reading City of Bones, which I don't even have the book in my hand. I put it in my stack of read books this month, but you know what it looks like. But yeah, that is my experience reading City of Bones. I really enjoyed it. This was fun vlogging my experience. I am also, if you've made it to the end of this video, you obviously didn't care about spoilers, but if you have made it to the end, because this is a spoiler-filled one, I am also going to do a video that is spoiler-free, talking about my experience for people who want the spoiler-free. That's more of like a review. So it'll be shorter, but that'll be for the people who don't care about spoilers, because I figure it's kind of nice to have both, so you get, you know, a little bit of each, because not everybody wants the spoilers. And then it makes it, you know, it's kind of like doubling up, like doing the same thing content-wise, but, you know, trying to make everybody happy and stuff like that. And then when I go to do my wrap-ups, I will just gloss over it briefly, because there's no real point in doing it again. But yeah, so this will go up first, and then I'll do my spoiler one. I'll probably film it tomorrow and get it up so that I can get this up first and then do the next one the next day. But that's it, guys. I am going to go now. I am tired. I finished 2 books today. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.